I am Rick Rollins, and we're going places, and we want you to come along. Let's go. Hello, I'm Rick Rollins, and this is Going Places. Coming up on today's show, grab your popcorn. We're going to the movies with Alicia Stafford. And we begin our month-long conversation with Delator McNeil as he shows us how to shift to higher gear. But first up, Laura Burns takes us to the West Shore Marina District to get some holiday hosting ideas.
Hey Rick, I'm Jen Bingham from Cruise Cellars, and since we're getting into the holiday season, I just wanted to share some wine tips for this time of year. We'll start with a white wine. I think maybe people don't think about white wine as much during the holiday season or as it gets a little bit colder out, but white wine goes great with food, especially if you're making like a beautiful charcuterie and cheese display. And I pulled a Chardonnay from Burgundy. A lot of people love Chardonnay and kind of think of California for Chardonnay, but white Burgundy, whenever you're drinking a white Burgundy, it's always going to be Chardonnay. And I think it's great for people who both are new or maybe think they don't like Chardonnay, and also people who do know and love Chardonnay, because it kind of meets in the middle and it's not as creamy and buttery as some of the California Chardonnays can be. The next one I have is a Beaujolais. I think this is probably my go-to and my favorite type of wine that I drink all the time. At home, at events. I think it's widely overlooked, and if people like Pinot Noir, it's something you should definitely look at. If you like other old world kind of European wines that are a little bit more earth-driven and complex, you can look at it. It is light. It is a little bit kind of the same or lighter than Pinot Noir. But don't discount it if you don't think you like light wines, because it offers so much complexity. Gamay is the name of the grape. And you probably have heard of like Beaujolais Nouveau. It's really popular to have around Thanksgiving, but that's just their simple harvest wine. There are 10 crus, same as Cruise Cellars, of Beaujolais that offer kind of different profiles and lots of complexity. And these wines really over-deliver for the price. We have so many at Cru that are in like the $20 to $30 range, and just such a great buy and great value. Another wine I love, just in general, this is very general, is Italian wine. And I think once you get to the meal portion of an event, or if you're going out to dinner, I love Italian wines with food. And I have two different examples here. One just kind of screams fall to me. Sangiovese is the main grape of Tuscany if you've had a Chianti or a Brunello. Just so like kind of pretty, elegant, dusty cherries, but then it has kind of that autumn like fall leaves quality too. Just a great food wine. And then if you prefer something a little bit bigger, like if you are a cab guy, try something from southern Italy. This one in particular is from Sicily, and the grape is Nero d'Avola, and it has a little bit more punch to it, fuller body, lots of like dark red and black fruit, not quite as earthy. This one is really well made and really beautiful. And then coming back over to the States, you can't forget about an American wine. I always like to drink American wine with Thanksgiving, just because a nod to the U.S. Red Zinfandel is excellent with turkey and all of the sides. It has kind of this jammy profile to it, but it's also full-bodied. It's easy to have with the food, but easy to have after you're done, and just really fun and easygoing. It's kind of like a wine that everyone can enjoy. Yeah, I think wine is just so fun. It doesn't have to be intimidating at all. There's certainly a lot to know, but I think if you can shop somewhere where people have taken the time to put in to their selection, they are more than happy to help you find what you're looking for. Cheers, Rick. Hope to see you here soon.
Great ideas as always. When we come back, we're going to the movies with Alicia Stafford right after this.
Hi, I'm Rick Rollins, and I need a favor. I need you to help me make sure that 100 of these stuffed animals are at the bedside of some young person who's fighting for their lives. Now, the proceeds from these bears will go to St. Jude's Hospital, but locally, these bears will go to Advent Health's Children's Hospital and these will be their companions on the journey. They're going places. Won't you make sure that the rest of their friends do too? You can stop by K Jewelers or you can go to the website below. Our goal is 100. Let's surpass it. Thank you today.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. A place for you to come and share thoughts and spirit through a cup of coffee. Come and enjoy with us here at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
I'm Alicia Stanford. Let's go to the movies. Are you ready to make a new friend? A new family film looks at friendship in the world of social media, and Ron's Gone Wrong.
It's just dancing. I paid for that.
Barney is trying to navigate the perils of middle school, and it seems he's the only kid without the exciting new Bebot, a techie friend designed to keep you connected with the world. His dad and grandma scrape up the money to get one, but it turns out it's a little bit offline.
Terrible, but awesome.
See? Barney, if you were fighting?
No. Bebots are incapable of violence. You can't just take it. It's mine.
I don't even know his name.
Yes, you do.
And when the other kids find out about Ron's glitch, things get a little out of hand.
Owner.
But I give all my funeral money to that man in the alley.
You got it from a man in an alley? Did you obtain this bot illegally?
What? This took a turn, and we gotta get out.
Ron's Gone Wrong takes a comedic look into the effects social media is having on kids and asks the question, if something doesn't take place online, did it really happen?
How about you? Would you like to comment on this picture, old woman? Barney likes rocks, asthma inhalers, and his grandmother's food. Will you come to my secret shed and like him?
No.
Barney likes rock hammers too! I'm gonna be late. My pants are on backwards. That was Barney's wake-up.
And without being too moralistic, this animated comedy teaches an important lesson about friendship, that in order to have a friend, you need to be one first.
Oh, Barney, I love new friend Bebot. He's very funny. Oh,
Hey, what have you done to my room?
I have stayed here and learned stuff.
What?
I now know everything about you. I know your underpants combust at a temperature of 232 degrees Fahrenheit, 17 degrees below the melting point of your inhaler. I know you have 11 socks and 4 books detailing the life of Bill the Bus. Now, I'm your best friend out of the box. Absolutely.
Funny man Zach Galifianakis provides the voice of Ron. Other voice actors include comedian Ed Helms and Oscar winner Olivia Colman. I'm Alicia Stanford, and that's what's going on at the movies.
When we come back, we shift into a higher gear with Delatora McNeil as Going Places continues right after this.
looks like. Ricardo's, what's your class?
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. A place for you to come and share thoughts and spirit through a cup of coffee. Come and enjoy with us here at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
Hi, I'm Rick Rollins and I need a favor. I need you to help me make sure that 100 of these stuffed animals are at the bedside of some young person who's fighting for their lives. Now, the proceeds from these bears will go to St. Jude's Hospital, but locally, these bears will go to Advent Health's Children's Hospital, and these will be their companions on the journey. They're going places. Won't you make sure that the rest of their friends do too? You can stop by K Jewelers or you can go to the website below. Our goal is 100. Let's surpass it. Thank you today. Well, first of all, welcome. I am so glad we had the opportunity to do this. Your schedule, my schedule, all of our schedules got us to this place. I've known you almost all of your life. I mean, we're not going to sit here as full disclosure that I've known Della Toro for, we won't talk about it because then it dates us. But I have watched you go from wanting to do this to now crushing every stage you're on. And I appreciate what you do. I sat and I watched the virtual. I surprised him because he didn't think I was gonna make it to the virtual, and I watched the virtual, which was amazing. And I just sat in awe, nugget after nugget after nugget. And we're gonna get to that. Dell has a new book out. It is probably on its way to the bestsellers list, the New York Times bestsellers list as we speak. Mm-hmm. You will see him all month long on this show. And I would encourage you to get the book. I would encourage you to get the workbook. I would encourage you that if he's coming to any place near you, we were just talking this morning, we've got a couple of things coming up for entrepreneurs that I think is gonna bless you. I mean, that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna bless you. It's gonna bless your britches. But before we get to that, I want to talk about, I've known him, as I said the other night, I've known him since the Tory stage. Yes. When they weren't calling him Della Toro, because most people couldn't pronounce it.
Or Dr. Della Toro.
Dr. Della Toro, because he is now a legitimate doctor. But I've known him since he was a little boy. So let's talk about Tory. Yes. Let's talk about you growing up.
Yes, sir. So I was born and raised here in Tampa, Florida, mm-hmm. and so raised by two really awesome parents. My folks kind of divorced when I was 2, so wow. I was kind of in different households.
And what's that like at 2?
You know what, it was challenging because I'm named after my father, and
right.
So I'm so proud of my dad. He and I are best friends today, but it was challenging growing up because I wanted a relationship with him, like to be really close, and we were just distant. My mom had moved to Tallahassee. Mm-hmm. He was still here in Tampa. And but I'm named after my father. Everybody always raves about my name, and I'm like, I gotta thank my dad for that. Mm-hmm. My father was shot in the upper back twice fighting for you and I in the Vietnam War. And so I'm really proud of him because he could have sat back on a government check his whole life.
True.
But he
did not.
Not at all. He actually ended up leading the same organization that rehabilitated him, and my father became the national director of the Paralyzed Veterans Association of America, leading policy globally for disabled veterans all over the world for over 15 years. And so he's taught me so much. He's been in a wheelchair longer than I've been alive.
Wow.
And he's taught me more lessons about perseverance and determination and never giving up and never quitting. And so I learned a lot from my dad, and I'm very grateful to him. My mom was a Sunday school teacher and an English teacher, so if you were going to be Olivia's kid, in my humble opinion, Olivia was easily one of the most articulate.
Oh my God, yes. Dell's mother was the person that you couldn't wait to hear her speak because it was so pronounced.
Yes.
And so
she was present
Yes.
in the entire moment. So yes.
So being raised by right, on style, right. So being raised in that energy, there was no way that I would not get the gift of communication.
True.
So she really did. I mean, most kids, after school they go to like daycare or whatever. After school, I was going to auditoriums because my mom would narrate gospel stage plays and productions, of which yours truly was starring in.
Yes, I was Judas. Imagine that. I was Judas. Okay,
so literally, I mean, I would leave school and then go listen to you all see how they done my Lord and other plays and productions. So I was around very articulate, very powerful communicators at a young age.
Yes.
And I believe that rubbed off on me. So I was raised in the church. But Rick, I never felt like I was supposed to pastor. I didn't feel like that was the call that was on my life. I was always, here we go.
Wait a minute. He may say that he's not called to pastor, but trust me when I tell you that it is revival, whether it's on a corporate stage, whether it's in a college stage, or at the church. Somebody gonna say amen, whether they wanted to or not.
And you've seen me in all those environments.
Oh yes, I have in all those environments. Exactly.
But yeah, man. So the gift was there at a young age, and so I wanted to cultivate it. So I got my first job at Winn-Dixie at the age of 14, bagging groceries because I didn't want my mom to kind of struggle to give me money for different things. So I developed a work ethic at a young age. And I also, a lot of people don't know this, but before I became a speaker, I wanted to be a member of Boyz II Men. True story. You remember my boy band days, Rick? Because I sing bass, and so I was a member of several different little boy band groups, and we were always trying to make things happen. So performing arts has always kind of been a part of my upbringing. I didn't know it was going to transition to speaking until I got to college. And so the funny story is, Pastor Joel Osteen has told my story of going from being labeled an at-risk youth in the 6th grade. Because I was going through I had some academic challenges.
Let me stop you right here because this is too good. When we come back, more with Dr. Delator McNeil. Right after this is Going Places continues from the Alba Hotel.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. A place for you to come and share thoughts and spirit through a cup of coffee. Come and enjoy with us here at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
Over 95% of people are more likely to interact with a video ad compared to a text ad. Right now, JCD Creative and Advertising has a fantastic deal for your business to get in front of that 95% of people. Right now, get a free professionally shot and edited video for your business with the purchase of an advertising package. This is over $5,000 savings for your business, but you gotta act fast because there's limited time and availability for this deal. Fill out the information below or email contact@jcdcreative.net to reserve your business's spot for this fantastic deal. We look forward to working with your business and helping you stand out above the rest as we take a creative approach to advertising at JCD Creative and Advertising.
So there's this moment. I'm sitting at home on a Sunday morning, and Pastor Joel Osteen, one of the largest platforms in the country, starts telling one of his usual stories about people that he finds to be phenomenal. And it's your story. And I'm sitting here, before he started, and I said, wait a minute.
Well, hold on.
I know his story. And then I said, it's gonna be, and before I could get out, and he said, that young man was Del Toro, like Neil. I was like, oh my God. And I started running around the house screaming because I knew, because I know the story, but I knew in that moment, I was like, this is going to change your life forever.
Yes,
so now, was Mom still alive when that?
So Mom was.
Okay.
Mom was still alive when the first Joel Osteen mention happened. He's actually told my story twice in two separate sermons. One is called Tell Them What They Can Become. Okay. And the other one is called Barrier Breaker. People can find them on YouTube.
Okay.
And here's what's funny about Barrier Breaker. I was actually at Lakewood the Sunday that he told the Barrier Breaker story.
Okay, but did he know you were there?
He did not know that I was going to be there.
Wow.
So I was in Houston speaking for a conference, and so I had never been to Lakewood. So all these people were telling me, oh my God, Pastor Joel's talking about you, et cetera, et cetera. When he came to Tampa to do a Night of Hope, I actually had a chance to go and meet him backstage and all that. So we made the connection then. A couple of years later, I'm in Houston speaking. So I spoke on a Saturday, then I go to Lakewood on Sunday. So I text his brother, Don Olaf, who's one of the executive pastors of the church. I said, hey, I'm in town. I'm gonna come to Lakewood Sunday. He's like, hey, yeah, cool. Let me know when you get here. I'll make sure I put you in the first 5 rows. So I get put in the first 5 rows, and then he texts me. He's like, hey, Pastor Joel wants to meet you backstage. This is a true story. I can't make this up. I'm like, what? So I go backstage. He said, Del Toro? He said, it's a really strange thing that you came to Lakewood today. I said, why, Pastor Joel? I'm telling your story again this morning.
Oh, wow.
I said, what?
Wow.
And he told the story about different people who had broken barriers throughout their lives. And so he shared our story of going from labeled an at-risk youth.
And that's where I want to go back to. So let's talk about that for a minute, and then we'll fast forward back. But you were labeled at risk.
Yes. Yep.
When in all actuality, you were hyper intelligent.
Exactly. Yes,
and oftentimes what I think is so tragic, especially with young people of color, especially young men of color, like around young men, when they don't know what to do with us, they often say to us that it's an at-risk child and that he's attention deficit.
That's right.
And that bothers me, because to imagine that somebody, if you had bought into it.
That's right. If I believed the label.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we have to be very mindful, very careful how we label folks.
Yes.
And so I'm grateful to HCC here in Tampa, Hillsborough Community College. Every year they host a conference called the Black, Brown, and College Bound Conference. I've been the keynote speaker for it multiple times. Okay. Steve Harvey has been the keynote speaker multiple times.
Michael Strahan, the list goes on.
Absolutely right. It's an incredible conference designed to inspire, like you said, Black and brown males to pursue a quality college education. And so it was that moment for me, especially in the 6th grade, when I met my first African-American teacher. Her name was Miss Diane Williams.
Oh, wow.
And on the first day of class in the 6th grade, she said, I know you're in a class full of all at-risk kids, but you are not a youth at risk, you are a youth at promise. And here's what's funny about me. I got chills all over my body.
I do too.
It's so funny that we're
hair
having...
standing up.
Yes, sir.
It's standing. See, it's standing.
It's so funny we're having this interview today, because Rick Rollins, today is National Mentorship Day.
Wow.
The day that we're filming this is National Mentorship Day. And so Ms. Diane Williams said, I'm not just going to be your teacher, I'm going to mentor you. So she said, watch this. At recess, you get 15 minutes with your friends. The rest of the time, you're going to sit next to me and I'm going to teach you about life.
Wow.
And that woman changed my life in one academic year. I went from being labeled an at-risk youth to being top of my class. I was bus patrol. I was a student leader. I won the talent show that year. To Rob Bates, It Takes Two to Make the Thing Go Right. I mean... But she...
Do we have footage of
that? Right. But she redirected my behavior. She she said, listen, if you can learn, if you can learn New Edition and Fat Boys, you can learn the United States presidents.
Oh my.
And so she shifted my behavior in the 6th grade, and I didn't have any more academic challenges after that. I went to Florida State University. I got a bachelor's and master's, 2 degrees in 5 years with a 4.0 and no debt.
Wow.
No 2 degrees in 5 years with a 4.0 and no debt from Florida State.
Wow.
But all because a woman decided that she was going to shift my behavior and she was going to believe in me and she relabeled me. And so that's the story that Pastor Dolan's told twice.
Here's the blessing in that.
Yeah.
You had it at home, and you had it at school.
That's right.
Oftentimes, young people don't get both. They
right.
get one or the other.
That's right. That's right.
And you had both.
And I got to give my mom credit for that and my dad credit for that, because they made sure to put me around people who believed in me, right? So my mom kept me around the Derricks, right? The Rick Rollinses of the world, right? She kept me around positive men who believed in me, even though her and my dad were no longer together. Now, she got remarried a little bit later on, but that relationship didn't work out, and so she made sure to put what she called extended family around me. That
The
really
village.
Exactly.
The village, which
that
was
was
necessary because you had a lot. I mean, we could go down the list. You mentioned Derek Warren, Dr. Derek Warren, who's now the alumni. He's a dean at Southern University.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so you had people who were on the rise, who showed you that you could rise too.
Right. That's right.
And I'm honored. I consider Delatore, I almost go Dr. Delatore to be one of my godchildren. I mean, I've always looked at him as a nephew son because he just had it. There was something, you reminded me a lot of me. And so when I see that, I know it has to be nurtured. Because you're so right. I mean, I thank God every day for a first grade teacher, Sister Barbara Pavlik at St. Peter Claver. Wow. And that was one of the things that for me was amazing. Next week, we continue our conversation as we shift into a higher gear with Dr. Delatore McNeil. From the Hotel Alba, I'm Rick Rollins. We're going places. I know you want to come along. We'll see you next time.